youngwifesguide.com, and today I just wanted to take a few minutes to show you how I do meal planning for my week and for my month. I think meal planning is such an important aspect of homemaking because it really saves you time, energy, money, and for me, it helps our family to eat healthier because I'm not relying on processed foods or getting to 5 o'clock and realizing I don't have anything to make, and so I asked my husband to pick up a pizza on the way home from work. Meal planning really helps to eliminate a lot of those problems, and it really helps to save time and money. So I just wanted to give a really quick, brief overview of how I do meal planning. I've been doing it this way for several years, and I know that the weeks when I don't meal plan like this, my grocery budget suffers, and we do not eat as well. And so I'm a really firm believer in meal planning. Even if you feel like you're not the type of personality or person to meal plan, I urge you to just try it out. Try it for a week or two, maybe give it a month, and really see if it has an impact on your family, because it can feel a little overwhelming if you've never meal planned before, and yet I think it will have a really good impact on your family. And so I urge you, if you've never done it before, to give meal planning a try, have an open mind, and just see how it goes. So I want to show, these are two printables that I've created that I use in my house for meal planning. And I actually have a free link for these on my blog in the post for this. If you go to youngwifesguide.com/meal planning, then you'll get a free link to download these. So if you want to go ahead and print these out, you could start meal planning today with these. You're also welcome just to use a simple notebook. That's what I did for a long time, is just used a notebook, and that worked great. So let me just dive in and show you. This is my first sheet that I use. This is my weekly meal plan. And it has days, it's got all the days of the week, Monday through Sunday. And for me, most weeks, I don't do this all the time because sometimes life gets crazy and I just don't find the time for it. But usually I try to plan out breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We do simple eggs and toast for a lot of breakfasts, but I also like to do things like egg quiches and different things. So I actually do plan out breakfast, lunch, and dinner for every single day. Even if I just have scrambled eggs written in there, at least I know ahead of time how many eggs I need to buy for the week, and hopefully I'm not running out of ingredients or asking my husband to always stop by the store on his way home from work or having to run out to the grocery store multiple times a week, and that in itself really helps to save money. So I really like to plan out breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And so what I've done is, this is, like I said, this is the free printable I have on my website. I actually laminated this so that I wouldn't have to waste ink printing it out over and over again. And I just have a dry erase marker where I can write in my meal plan, which is nice because if I need to swap days around during the week, I can just erase it and write it in another day. And then I can just use this week after week. So as soon as I make this meal plan, when I'm done, I hang it up on my fridge, and then everybody in the family can see it all week then, and nobody's asking, oh, what's for dinner? And we've got everything right here. So this is my most important thing. This is like my guide to the week. And what I do is I just go through my recipe books. As you can see, I love having physical recipe books. This is only a few of my recipe books that I have. But I love going through, a lot of my recipe books already have tags in here of recipes that I either love or recipes maybe that we want to try. And so I'll go through my recipe books when I'm sitting down to do my meal plan, and I'll go through and pull some favorite recipes or maybe some recipes that I want to try. And I write them down here on my meal plan, and I always, always, always write the page number and what cookbook they came from, because I think I'm going to remember when I go back to the books, and I never do. So I always write down the page number and which cookbook it came from so that I can remember. And so I'll go through my favorite cookbooks and maybe pick a few recipes. I also have a lot of printed out recipes that are like family favorite recipes, and so I'll go through those. And then what we also do is, my husband actually has a Pinterest account, and I think he only has one board on his whole Pinterest account, but it's recipes that either he's found maybe on Facebook or he's found on Pinterest, and so he'll pin recipes when he comes across recipes that he thinks look amazing, and then I'll pin recipes to that same board if I ever find something that I think maybe my husband will really like. So I love doing this because it takes some of the pressure off of me. When I'm sitting down to do my meal plan and I'm not feeling creative and I can't think of any recipes, I'll tell my husband to hop on Pinterest and find me 3 or 4 recipes for the week, and then he can go pick recipes that look amazing, and all he has to do is tell me which ones they are, and I can write them right down onto my meal plan. And then he's excited for what we're going to eat the next week because he's anticipating all these recipes he picked. And some of them have not been great recipes, but for the most part, usually we end up finding a lot of recipes that our family loves, and it really makes our meal plan, like, it allows our meal plan to change up often. My husband gets really bored if I make the same thing over and over again. So letting him get a little bit invested with using the Pinterest board has been really fun, and we've been able to find some great recipes through that. So that's how I make up my meal plan. And the other thing I have, which is indispensable, is my shopping list. I have to have a shopping list. I will not go into a grocery store without a shopping list because inevitably I will end up with $100 worth of things in my cart that I don't really need, and then I get home and I don't have all the ingredients I need to make meals. And so I really try not to go to the store without a shopping list. So as I'm making up my meal plan, every time I pull a new recipe, what I do is right there while it's out, I go through and I write down, I need 2 pounds of ground beef, I need celery, I need flour, whatever it is. And then I've got it written down right here with broken up by the different categories. It's perfect. I can take this right to the store and it's great. And so when I do meal planning for the week, if I'm really looking through my cookbooks and going through Pinterest, it usually takes me about 30 minutes because as I'm going through my cookbooks, I have to go, wait a minute, do I have flour? And then I'll go check the pantry. Okay, I've got flour. I don't need flour for this week. And so it takes about 30 minutes, which can be, you know, you have to plan for that a little bit. You can't just decide to go to the store at the drop of a hat. You do have to plan ahead a little bit. But when I do that, I know exactly what I'm going to be making all week or maybe for the next 2 weeks. And this is really handy also for when I'm practicing hospitality. If we're going to have often host people in our house and have them over for dinner, it's really helpful for me to be able to plan ahead what I'm going to make so that it doesn't stress me out as much. I don't get up that morning and go, oh no, what am I going to make for so-and-so who's coming over tonight? I already have it written on my meal plan and I have already got all the ingredients because I wrote it down on my shopping list, and it just takes a lot of the stress out of that. And so I have been doing meal planning this way, like I said, for several years, and this is the free, easy option. You just print out these cards, you're ready to go, or just use a notebook, write down your menu, just make sure you don't lose it. Write down your menu, your shopping list, you're good to go to the store. And I really try hard to never be without my menu plan. And I've been doing this for several years, but what I've actually been doing for the last 6 months is I have moved to an online system for meal planning, and it's been amazing. It has actually really cut down on my time it takes to meal plan, even though this may only take 30 minutes to an hour. Using this online system takes me about 10 minutes. And I've tried other meal planning softwares in the past because it sounds like such a great idea. And either they sounded like they would save me time, but in the long run it took a lot of time, or they just didn't offer all the features I needed. And so I've kind of tried a few in the past and given up on them. But I've been using this same one. It's called buildamenu.com. And I've been using this same one for about 6 months now, and I love it. It was created by 2 mothers who have their own households that they're running. And so I feel like in them creating it, they've created everything that me as a busy homemaker needs. And so they keep adding new features too, which has been really helpful because for one thing is I wanted to be able to add my own recipes, and they didn't have that feature for a while. Well, they just added it this week, and I can now say Build a Menu has everything I need for planning menus. And so what I've been using it for the last 6 months is I'll use it probably about twice a month. I'll go in, and what they have is they have like hundreds of recipes every month that are already uploaded to their website. And what you go in is you select if you want breakfast, lunch, dinner, if you're maybe eating low carb, if you're eating Trim Healthy Mama. They have a bunch of different menu options, and you go in and just with a few clicks, you have your whole meal plan planned out. You can pick exactly which recipes you want. And then what it does is on the final screen, when you are completed with it, it actually gives you your shopping list broken down by category, ready to print out and take to the store. And so you can literally make an entire meal plan in less than 10 minutes, and you're out the door to the store. And so I've done that on weeks that are just crazy and really busy. I'll hop on, print it out while I'm getting dressed, and then take my shopping list to the store, and I have a whole entire week's worth of meals planned out, and it's fantastic. And so like I said, the other feature they just added is you can actually upload your own recipes. They just added it this week. So what I've been doing is I'm taking like about 20 or 30 of our family's like ultimate favorite recipes. I'm uploading them to the website, which takes a little bit of time up front because I have to type in each ingredient. But what that's going to allow me to do then is whenever I go into the system now and it's Sunday afternoon and I want to go to the grocery store real fast to get meals for our whole week, with click, 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 I can pick all of our family's favorite recipes I want for the week, and within a few seconds I have my shopping list completely made, printed, and I'm off to the store. And so that part does take a little bit of time up front, but I'm so excited to use that because I think it's really going to free me up from meal planning, and it's going to make me more consistent on it because it doesn't take hardly any time up front. So I'm really excited about that. The other thing about Build a Menu that I really like, because we are trying to eat healthy on a really tight budget, and so one thing that I really love is that Build a Menu actually has the sales ads from all the major grocery stores, and so when you go in to look at the meals, it actually has a cost estimator of what each meal is going to make. So it has chili, and for 6 people it's going to cost $7.74. And so you know exactly how much, when you are putting everything into your meal plan for the week, you see that it's going to cost you $120, and you know exactly what it's going to be. And it might differ by a few dollars by the time you get to the store, but I found that that cost estimator is actually fairly accurate. So that's just another feature that really helps me to be able to, when I'm really tight on money that month, I'm able to plan some of the cheaper meals, and I can see it all right there without having to think about it all, without having to write things down. I print off the recipe or the ingredients list, and I'm off to the store. So anyway, whichever way or whatever way that you decide to meal plan, I really encourage you to try it out. If you are skeptical, then get a notebook, print these out, and try meal plan for a month. If you really want to try out Build a Menu, they actually have a special deal going on right now for the month of all the month of November. You can get over 50% off from Build a Menu, and that makes it only $35 for a 12-month subscription, which is awesome because that only breaks down to a few dollars a month, and it saves me more than that in my time and in my grocery budget. And so I'm really happy to spend a couple dollars a month on Build a Menu because it's really worth it in the end. And so if you want to find out more about Build a Menu, and if you want to print out my free printables, then head to younglifesguide.com/meal planning. And if you're already in this post, just scroll up and you will see all the links for everything that you need. And if you have any questions about Build a Menu, if you have any questions about how I meal plan, please leave a comment in this post, and I would be happy to get back to you or give you any references that you need. So just let me know, and I am challenging you this week to go out and do a meal plan. Do one, try it out, see how you like it, and then leave a comment and let me know. Thanks.